Hey guys, right now I'm going to be doing a review of this knife. Just be talking about it, I guess. This is the SOG Trident folder. SOG actually makes a fixed blade called the Trident. It's actually really good looking. I wouldn't mind picking one of those up. But it has a very similar blade to this one. But this is the SOG Trident folder, obviously, so don't get it confused. You know, SOG doesn't have the best reputation, I guess, in the knife community. I mean, one of the things you see on blade forums, besides, you know, should I get a Strider or Sebenza, or, you know, what's wrong with Lynn Thompson, is somebody complaining about a SOG knife. You know, I've heard all kinds of problems, you know, excessive play, you know, low quality materials. I know they used to use Os-6, and I don't approve of that. You know, low quality materials. I mean, this knife is just plastic handled. I mean, they didn't put steel liners in it, and you know, honestly, SOG is actually a pretty affordable knife company, and I actually really like this knife for what it's worth. I mean, you can pick these up. Yeah, let me start it off with that. MSRP is about $100, but that's not what you're gonna pay for this. You're gonna pay much closer to $50. 50 to 55 if you're a good deal searcher. You might be able to find it for 50 shipped, but it's definitely an affordable knife. I mean, when you look at stuff like, even like this mini grip Tillion is almost double the cost for me. But this SOG Trident is actually really nice for the price. You know, some quick specs, I guess. 3.75 inch blade, so it's actually a pretty big knife. Overall length is 8.5 inches, weight 3.6 ounces, steel is Os-8, and you know, the handle is ITEL. So those are some quick, you know, numerical, you know, statistics on the knife, but you know, honestly, this knife is carries really well. I'm just gonna start off with that. I mean, this knife actually is pretty long, especially for the
database has been updated.
Ignore that, that's my computer. Yeah, but as I was saying, this SOG Trident actually carries very well. It actually has a pretty long handle, despite, well, not despite, but it has a pretty long handle. But I mean, despite having a long handle, the knife, I mean, it just slips in your pocket very well. You got this very low riding pocket clip by SOG. You know, SOG is the one who does these. No other companies make them this low. And I gotta say, it's a very nice clip. But, okay, you guys might not know what this sort of notch is in here. This is actually cut out of the handle. And basically, when you fold up the knife, you can see probably right there that some of the blade, the sharp part of the blade is exposed. The edge is exposed. And basically what this part does is it serves as basically a, you know, seatbelt cutter or a, you know, cord cutter or something like that. So what you would do is, let me use my mini grip here. You would take the cord and you would drag it into here and just pull it against the blade till it cut. You know, I don't mind it, but the problem with this knife actually is that this gets in the way of the clip. When you're trying to put it on, I find this corner actually catches on the clip. No, catches on your pocket edge, and it's hard to, you know, put on the clip. So to open the knife, it actually opens very fast. The SOG assisted technology is actually pretty nice. You know, in the beginning it's actually pretty hard to fold with one hand, but you'll get used to it. And it wears in pretty well. Lock on this guy is the arc lock. You know, it's okay. I have no complaints. Lock up, you know, it's not perfect. There's wiggle. I don't know if I can show you that. There's definitely side-to-side wiggle. And there's a little up and down wiggle. But I think blade play, and please don't hang me for this, but I think people care too much about blade play. You know, I like a nice, smooth, quick opening folder. And, you know, sometimes in order to get that, you need to sacrifice a little bit of left-right blade play, up-down blade play. I don't think could care less. The knife locks up still securely. I mean, it doesn't feel like the knife is gonna, you know, fold on you, so there's no problem with that. Blade shape is very nice. I love that sweep. I wish you know, some other company would make this knife. And not to, you know, diss SOG or anything, but, you know, another company would probably make this knife with more upgraded materials, and that's really what I want. You know, OS8, I'd like it in a, you know, 154 S30V. You know, Zytel, this knife would be awesome with G10 grips. Speaking of the handle, it's comfortable. It's pretty big and beefy. I actually don't know how people use this jimping up here. You have to like put your whole hand up here to use it, and it hurts my wrist actually. So I probably won't be doing that, but you guys might. The jimping's okay. I like my jimping pretty smooth actually. I know that kind of defeats the purpose, but you know, if the jimping's too tough, it's annoying, honestly. The DigiGrit, which is basically this sort of scaling texture. Let me try to bring you in. You can see, I don't know if you can tell here. Oh, but they're basically these little raised diamond bumps. And they work pretty well. Not too smooth, not too hard to, you know, not too rough on your hands. It closes up pretty nicely too. You got this safety here. This safety, basically, when it's in this position, the down position, it's locked. And you want to push it away from the blade so you can deploy. And I don't know if I can show you this, but there's a little red paint there. But the red paint is like really badly done. I mean, I don't know. If you had this knife, you could tell what I'm saying. It looks like they just poured red paint on it and hoped it would work. But you know, for the price point, I mean, the SOG Trident is a really nice folder. I mean, the tasks I would use this in are not like, I can't imagine using a knife in a defensive role. And you know, I don't think that's even worth really mentioning. But as a big work knife, I think this actually works really well. This is plenty strong enough to do most tasks. If you're doing tasks that you really actually do, you know, need something like the Trident SNG for its strength, you know, you should probably get a fixed blade. This is strong enough for, you know, 99.5% of the tasks you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. Just people like me like to carry the SNG because it has that extra cool factor, you know. But I mean, I gotta say, for the price, you're actually getting a pretty good knife and a pretty nice looking knife. You know, I think this actually looks really nice. Nice sweep, nice, you know, nice satin finish, nice everything. So that's about it. That's my review of the SOG Trident. Really nice budget folder. I had to rate this above the SOG Twitch too. This is actually a pretty high quality knife. You know, you can't get the same quality as you would get in like a Benchmade, but I mean, at the price point, it's definitely up there. So that's about it. My review of the SOG Trident. Oh, one more thing. I saw Darkchild 57's review of this knife. I might annotate it. I probably will. He's a great reviewer. And he asked whether or not the lock or release kind of like freely move back and forth, and it does on mine. There's nothing keeping it in place. Anyway, that's about it. SOG Trident folder, really nice knife for the money. Check it out, it's pretty affordable. Thanks guys, bye.